So now Chris is live. So what's funny is I didn't get a chance. I don't know if I told you this, Rampage. While I was in the past in several bowling tournaments,
Rampage and Mr. B are
was
deafened right now doing their intro.
Okay. Okay, I'll just tell Texan this then.
Okay.
We were like last place. We got the special horse's rear end trophy.
Oh. Oh well.
So it's literally like a trophy of just a horse's butt. And that's
What?
it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a trophy we got last time I was in a bowling tournament.
Huh.
It's for last place. It's a special trophy for last place.
Is it nighttime already?
Trees are growing.
I don't think so. So iGamer, how are you doing today?
Doing alright, how are you?
Pretty good. We did some work while you were gone.
Yeah.
29th helped us get turtles.
Nice.
We built the secret Foot Clan headquarters inside the World Zoo.
Okay.
And we've started extending the boat ride to having racing and such.
Nice.
By the way, we still have a turtle. Yay! We got
Nice.
one turtle.
We got a whole turtle. Incredible. Are all the other eggs gone?
Yep.
Maybe we need to be on the server looking at the eggs for when they hatch.
I've decided to redouble our efforts.
The eggs can also be trampled by mobs.
Which mobs would trample them though? I mean, one could theoretically get there, but I don't know what mob would.
Hostile mobs target them.
Hostile mobs target eggs?
I believe so.
Yeah, but these
That's-
eggs are in a like super
They could still get in.
concentrated cage, but
I
I don't see how the mobs could get in.
You can. I think you might be able to use the fences, or the stairs around the fences to.
Yeah, I just think that's very
To get on the
unlikely
gate.
though. But anyway, I decided to redouble our efforts and have, I think, ensured that we should get another turtle. I think Rampage will approve as well.
Yes.
When you see what I did with the eggs.
All right. Let me go over there. Oh. My boat died. Sad.
Or Rampage.
Alright, I'm out of the race now.
And I think I need to turn down Rampage just a bit.
Huh.
I call this hedging my bets.
It'll probably work.
Rampage, can you talk again?
Hi?
I think you're also coming out of Mr. B.
No, that may be me. I mean, we're in the same room.
No,
Yeah, I think it's coming from Texan.
Probably.
no.
Yeah, it's coming from Texan.
And Mr. B. It's like whenever you talk, Mr. B and Texan light up. I'm trying to figure out who's echoing.
It would be Texan that's creating the echo.
Monster Texan. Alright. Let's see if that fixes it. Hi, Rampage.
Hello.
Okay, that works for me. I lowered you and Texan slightly,
Hmm.
in which then the echo becomes a little bit more normalized. So do you like my special plan?
Yes, I think it should probably work.
Okay. Thankfully, Doctor gave me millions of turtle eggs.
How many eggs did he give you?
I have more.
How many more?
I've got 18 more.
Oh.
Doc trusted me with them.
He entrusted the survival of the turtle race to you.
Yeah.
He entrusted you to make Ninja
He
Turtles.
collected all the eggs from around the world and gave them all to you.
Your name is now no longer DK, it is Noah.
Ironically, I wanted only 2 turtles. So I find that most ironic that you said Noah.
Wait, what? What? What is happening? I hear. Ah, it's DK. DK, just get in this. Just enter this boat.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring light back to this world.
Why do you need light? Who would ever need light? DK, if you want to get over here, enter the boat, and it'll teleport you in.
I was considering just using your door.
That door does not have a way to open it.
Do I need to go through your maze and add light? Just out of curiosity.
This is all the maze there is. I'm just
Yeah.
now starting.
Do I need to follow you and bring you? Did you want me to
I
remove
mean,
a lot of things so you could
depends.
work 2-dimensionally?
That would probably be better.
Okay.
So much gravel. Why is there so much gravel?
Because the gravel knows what you said about it.
What did I say about it?
You said it was unnecessary
Oh well, yeah, that's true.
and slightly flashy. And it goes
I
with
don't think-
nothing.
That, yeah.
I'm sorry. One of those things does not sound like something Rampage would say.
It's funny, I'm tunneling under the sea,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and I can hear my sheep, but I can't get to my sheep. Where are my sheep?
You have lost your sheep?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how far to go to extend. But it's wild, because I'm under the ocean, and I can hear my sheep.
So what you need to find,
So
Mary.
there's not a lost sheep. There's
No,
a
there's
lost
not
Mr. B.
There's a lot of sheep that I'm listening to. They've got to be close, because maybe they're this way.
It's funny you mentioned lost sheep, Rampage.
Yeah, that's this whole reason I mentioned that.
What's funny is if you know the numbers that come after that username are very special.
I don't.
They lead
Are
you
they?
to the prodigal son, which is next to the lost sheep.
Huh.
I find that just weirdly kind of random.
How did you get that name?
So I was making I wanted to play Dawn of War, which is a PC game, and it used what's called Windows Live. And Windows Live decided that PC players had to make an Xbox account to play single-player games.
Yeah.
I was really upset about all that. Specifically since, Windows Live is a very unreliable service. It's one of those things where you installed and just hoped that it wasn't that they would work, and there's really nothing you can do if it doesn't work.
Ah, so it's a Windows product. Nice.
Yeah, but the thing is, it connected. It told you had to make an Xbox account, and you use your Xbox account. It was them trying to merge Xbox and Windows together.
Something tells me it didn't really work.
Oh, the thing is, like some games that used it, getting your computer to actually function with Windows for Live was kind of a dice throw.
So it's a Microsoft product.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if your computer doesn't like Windows for Live, you just can't play it, and it requires. And nowadays, it's even slightly more complicated because that service doesn't exist anymore, and so there's like there's software that you can the Microsoft made software to fool their software that everything is legitimate.
Wait, is that how they did it?
Yeah, essentially, but there's one little catch. You can't buy any DLC for any Windows for Live game because it used the Xbox system, which doesn't exist anymore.
Huh.
So you're probably thinking that would be a problem for anyone who wants to play any DLC for their PC games, right?
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing, though. The system for DLC was really bad in the sense that there was no security whatsoever, and you could legitimately just drop a file into a folder and the DLC would be there.
Wow.
Because the DLC would already be in the game. It just required you to drop a little package into a folder called DLC 1 and DLC 2 and so forth. So
That's all the security they had?
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's like an Xbox thing, because they would never have to really worry about that.
But it's a PC.
Right.
It's a system on the PC. Like, I don't know. Anyway, as you could tell, everything went perfectly fine for Windows for Live. The funny thing, and the only great advantage of Windows for Live, is the servers are still up for any game that uses that.
Huh.
Which creates the very awkward thing where developers just try to stop you from buying the game. So here's the funny thing, to add to all this. So you buy the game on Steam, but it was using like a third-party system for tracking the DLC.
Wait. But why?
Well, it's because you see, if you bought the DLC from Steam, Steam gets like a 40% cut. Right?
Ah.
So
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't get any of that cut. So the idea was Microsoft was trying to convince developers to give them the 40% cut and not Steam. Which, feel bad for anyone who uses like the Unreal Engine, because you have to pay Steam and then you have to pay Epic.
Huh.
So anyone who says, "Oh, but it's I refuse to support the game on Epic," and then buys it on Steam, they're supporting Epic. Epic's getting paid. I say when people like say things like that, I go, Epic appreciates your 40% of your item. It's not quite that bad, but so one of the benefits for releasing your game on Epic is that they waive the engine cost, because you don't have to pay to have to use the Unreal Engine. Usually the way it works is you pay a portion of all your sales for use of the engine.
Huh.
So if you don't have to pay Epic for that and just get to keep all that, some developers think that's really kind of nice. They kind of like that particular arrangement. for very obvious reasons. Apparently some weird desire of actually getting paid. Silly them.
Those silly people.
How dare they? That's alright. Unity found a way to upset everyone. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Maybe?
One of the top people in one of the top Unity executives basically said any developer that doesn't monetize their game is a fool. Which of course immediately activated the internet to like level 1000 sadness. I can understand why they would say that though. There's way too much money to be made in surprise game mechanics. And if all your competitors do it and you don't, that kind of leaves you kind of high and dry, right?
Yeah.
Integrity doesn't pay the bills.
Well, not only that, but not getting paid doesn't pay the bills either.
This is true.
If you're a really talented game developer and you're making innovative, cool games, it doesn't do you any. Maybe your better value is to be making games rather than, you know, working at McDonald's or wherever else you might be working, because you still got to pay the bills.
Yep. But seeing it how some of those games that use those monetization schemes make a lot more money, and it seems people really like that. I don't know why, but they do. It is what it is.
I feel like a lot of times people just don't even know, like, what the heck is going on with the monetization schemes, or they don't understand it fully, and so they fall into almost like a trap.
Well, I think what's really bad is like games like NBA, where they added actual casino games. Like they added actual slot machines and pachinko machines to get like characters and stuff.
Right.
So Mr. B, how do you feel about the introduction of actual gambling machines into like games that are targeting children?
I mean, they do it all the time.
Yeah, I'll be honest with
I mean,
you.
like, there's probably a whole bunch of Roblox games that are gambling.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Oh, yeah.
the majority of them.
And so like what's really weird though is like I remember as a kid playing Super Caesar's Palace, but you didn't gamble with real money. Is it?
So you're suggesting that in these games they're gambling with real money?
Yeah. Oh, that's actually how it works. You take your real money and you pull a slot machine.
Not even sure that's legal.
Yeah. Some people try to say that that's just real gambling at that point.
Yeah.
It's just you're not receiving anything of any real value.
Oh, okay.
So
You're receiving money in return, you're just receiving characters and stuff in the game, that's all.
Well, isn't that any different than paying for
I
like
guess it
mystery
just
boxes
feels.
in Hypixel?
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I just wonder
So
at
in
what
Hypixel,
point.
you're paying like your VIP membership, and you get X number of boxes a month.
Yeah.
That's no different than pulling a slot machine. It's just not a slot machine. It's a box that you whack, and it's randomly giving you stuff.
Well,
the
imagine like you actually paying money, it spins, and then you get nothing. That's a possibility.
Well, I mean, again, that's effectively no different than
You're probably right. Yeah.
your Hypixel.
So it's funny as Europe actually like started saying, "Whoa, you know, that's not cool," and they've like kind of taken an interesting stance. It was actually so bad that like Star Wars Battlefront 2 actually removed its loot chest from the game
Huh.
Interesting.
because Congress talked about regulating it.
Hmm.
Because they actually tied real life progression with loot chests. And for a game that you paid $60 for, that seems a bit. I guess that's a I guess a bridge too far, right? Because at least with Hypixel, you didn't pay money to enter it, right? You
No.
made the choice to pay them money. But if you had to pay them like a $70 entrance fee, and then had to pay extra stuff just to play the games, maybe that's where you draw the line. What do you think? And Rampage died in front of me.
That's not very
Wait.
healthy.
I watched him die in front of me. He suffocated.
You didn't help him? What's wrong with you?
No, I was on half a heart for quite a while, but I
Oh.
jumped and I suffocated in a wall.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do for him because he was in front of me and he died while floating in midair. I'm like, how did
Yeah,
you do
no,
that?
I just stood here and jumped, and I died.
Oh, you know what? It's X equals 9. I understand now.
Ah.
So, DK, in answer to your question, I think it's just a matter of perspective, because I think a lot of people pay for games and then pay for more and then pay for more, even for progression type deals.
Yeah.
Specifically, even gambling sites.
Yeah.
But even, we're just not, we're used to getting games for either free or microcurrency, or, you know, it's just, it's going to be the way of,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of these are just things that we're being introduced to that are going to become normal as time goes on.
I can understand that. I'll be honest with you. Some things that upset gamers don't necessarily upset me.
Such as?
Such as when a developer has an option in which you could pay money to speed up progression. That doesn't offend me to the same it was back in the day. It was called time savers, and I understood the concept of it, and but I remember it would upset so many people. And the thing is, though, I looked at it more from the stance of some people like have such a small amount of time they have to play, they don't necessarily have time to invest, 40 hours into a game, and would kind of, yeah.
Ultimately, the person who's developing the game has got to get paid.
Oh yeah. But
The only thing that bothers me with that isn't so much. I mean, I think some of what can be frustrating with that, though, is that, like, if either you put a lot of time into a game, or it's a game where being very high value can cause a lot of problems for other players.
Yeah, I was kind of going for single player games specifically.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just an example that comes to mind because I've been playing it a lot recently is GTA Online, right? You can get money in that game. When you amass a large amount of money in that game, like, you can buy a whole bunch of stuff to basically just become indestructible and absolutely ruin everybody else's time online. And I feel like
But
it
the
makes it very.
entirety of that game is
Oh, I know the entirety of the game is PvP.
exactly. So if that's
a
what
lot
you're
of
signing
the
up for, then why
online-
are you complaining?
Well, because a lot of the online play is based off of like, I guess like, creating businesses and gathering money and working.
GTA
at-
Online is very much also PvE and had
That's true.
the PvP doesn't have any functional purpose other than I'm upset right now and I want to.
No, that's true. But I feel like it gives people a cheat to just like, I guess, skip a lot of the progression of what online is meant to have that then some other people either can't afford or, don't have
It's my
enough money to
understanding
do that.
even in the name Grand Theft Auto,
Of
GTA,
course.
it's in
Trust me, I play the game looking for, and expecting PvP. I
it's
find that a
it's
fun
enti-
aspect of it. I'm just bringing
the
up the
entirety of the game is criminal behavior.
Of course.
So if that's what you're
That's-
signing up for when you
Yeah.
start the game, then that's what you
Of
have to
course.
expect people to do. So you can't complain.
No,
It's just
of course not.
that's the nature of the game.
Yeah. But
Uh,
there's definitely other games where paying for progression definitely screws up a lot of other people.
I imagine, but
You
the
know.
thing with GTA Online, I guess, that to offer a different perspective, Glenham, in all of my time of playing it, I only had one PvP encounter. Everything else was
You must not
PvE.
have played very much then.
I did actually play a significant amount, just not in the way expected, I think, is the way of putting it.
Oh, okay.
The only PvP encounter was someone who paid $50 to another company to get a little console, and they push a button and they just kill every single player on the server. Which is not allowed, but someone paid money to cheat into the game.
Yeah, but I
that
mean, that's
was
paying
the-
for hacks. That doesn't come from the developers
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
game
yeah.
itself.
As I said, that is the only PvP encounter I've ever had. And I actually met people who, in fact, one of my coworkers used to pay to have such buttons.
I wonder which one.
It is a member of my team.
A certain chaotic evil
Um,
penguin.
Penguin.
I thought I knew who y'all were talking about, but Penguin has thrown me off.
The one who joined us for bowling, who didn't join us for golf.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking about the right person, but where did Penguin come from?
I was thinking of a different person.
And I've listened to that person's justification for all that, and I had a friend who I actually
Don't get slain by zombies.
wanted us to play GTA Online with him. And do you know what content he wanted us to do with him exclusively? He makes
What?
a product in a factory, and we deliver it to a destination, and then
Oh yeah, you told me this.
that's it.
Yeah, believe it or not, as stupid as it sounds, that's a big part of late game progression for GTA Online.
And that's the
So he
only.
was hiring you to be drivers.
He was he would buy a helicopter. We would all get into his helicopter. He would drive me, Nick, and Tricky to the destination, and we. So just to upset him, I bought the little DLC that gives you a bunch of money and the casino access. I did that more or less just to taunt him. Because I don't particularly like. I used to play that game with my uncle. Do you know what the only content my uncle would play in GTA Online?
No idea, but probably something fun.
It was a map where NPCs continuously spawn, and you have to take out those NPCs in like a 40 wave thing. That
That's
was the
effort.
only thing he did, because it was the only way to make money.
There's so many other ways to make money now in that game, though.
Yeah, but back then that was the only way. Like the other
Yeah.
ways would pay you like $5 or $20 to win a race against a bunch of people, or,
Right.
Or do a
Nowadays, the
parachuting
minimum you're earning off of a race is probably going to be 3,000. But at the same time, you can do a VIP mission and earn like 43,000 if you're a CEO of a company. So it's changed a lot.
Of course, I just pushed a button to get like billions of dollars and a casino, just so that I
Nice.
could mock my friend who's been playing that game since it first came out on PC. Like, just suddenly have all the progression that he worked so hard for. I was never going to play this game. Nick did the same thing, which I thought was hilarious. As I said, like, our reason for doing it was not good.
Yeah.
But it does have to do with a little bit of we do not respect the game you're playing.
Fair.
Of course, like, I used to play it on the PC and I used to have a lot of money, so it like didn't matter to me. I was the one time I played the game by myself without my friends, immediately someone spawned the helicopter and just instant killed everyone on the server.
Mm.
So I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem like fun. But I'm not a big PvPer, so maybe that does something for some people. But the only PvP I ever enjoyed was in Warhawk with my remote explosives. So we played Capture the Flag in Warthog, Mr. B, and I would find really colorful places to place the proximity mines. Sometimes I would wait in a bush, watch someone walk. They drive a jeep into our base,
Mm-hmm.
and when he gets out to grab the flag, I'd put like 3 proximity mines underneath his jeep, and then walk back to my bush. And then suddenly just explode when he got into the jeep.
And does he lose the flag at that point?
Yeah, and I just pick it back up. and then I go back to the spawn area and get more proximity mines. I'm the kind of person who found creative ways. Like I blame GoldenEye for this. I'd put like proximity mines behind door frames or on the side walls of the opposite side that I expected people to walk through. So they'd walk through a doorway and explode.
Sounds about right.
I mean, now that's fun. I get to sit and watch someone's behavior and make a plan to upset their planned action. Like I like that. I knew I couldn't beat anyone, 1v1 with, machine guns and all that. It's just like not in the cards. But when it comes to outwitting players, I appreciate that there was a mechanic in the game generally around me outwitting people and not based on kind of skill, if that makes sense. And I don't...
outwitting people is a skill.
I guess you're right. But that's usually not a skill that a lot of games kind of concentrate too heavily on. Not like, sitting and watching the horrible mistakes of people and kind of watching their behaviors and what doorways they walk through and so forth. It feels a little stalkerish actually, but
Well, it sounds like it. So this person likes to walk through this door.
For certain games, that's good strategy though, because if you You know where the player's gonna be. It gives you opportunity.
To place a proximity mine and hide.
Yes.
Not that Chris would ever like try to meet them equally in battle, because that always went really badly for me. Except when I think I told Rampage this story a little bit, but this happened in Warhawk. And it was one of the like what the way Warhawk worked is that there was a big map, and then like they had subdivisions of the maps that you could also play, which were smaller sections of the big map. And one of those small subsections had a bridge and 2 bases with a flag on each side, and the only connecting route is the one bridge. So the players basically just dumped proximity mines on both sides of the bridge.
Got it. Okay.
The only other way out of that base is to take one of the planes, Warhawks. And the Warhawks had 2 modes. They could turn into a plane or a helicopter, and they could just flip between those 2.
Got it.
So this one player would grab that and try to attack the base, and I would just sit on the anti-air missile and just lock on and blow them up every time they took off or got near our base.
Nice.
He sent me a PlayStation message calling me a lot of bad things that I will not repeat, using lots of colorful words. Some of them I'd never heard before, as someone from like college at the time. I then realized that this person didn't realize a fundamental mechanic of the planes. The planes could outrun the missiles, and they had the ability of exiting the map area that, players couldn't go. There's a specific helicopter attack that one could do that would be very useful in this situation. Curious if iGamer knows this tactic.
Possibly.
Okay. So it's the helicopter tactic of getting behind a hill.
Yep.
And you raise up and you attack the SAM site, and then you lower down because you have a fully functional helicopter mode. Right? So I sent him a message saying, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, but here is a tactic that you could use that may provide you some assistance. He then sent me a message saying, I'm really sorry. I was just a little upset, and I probably shouldn't have said all those things. And thank you for the advice. He then started using my advice, and he wasn't getting blown up all the time.
Nice.
Because I gave him sound advice. Now, of course, I knew some counters to that, but that also required me to develop some new strategies other than sitting on my anti-air and just firing as soon as he came by. Which provided us equally more fun gameplay.
Nice.
See here, I took something really negative and we turned it positive.
And you made a friend.
Never talked with him again.
Don't know what you're talking about. I don't make friends.
No, it's concerning when people allow something like that in a game to get them so upset, but my friend, of course, who was also there, wanted to say some very colorful things back, but I knew that was not the correct route to take. Since it was obvious that he didn't understand, like to me, I had watched a lot of military video, because both my parents were in the military. My father was Air Force, and my mom was Army.
Okay.
So like I watched a lot of military films, and I remember the helicopter ones where the gunships would hide behind a hill and raise up and attack and then go back down. So like
Okay.
I just understood that as a thing, and I realized not everyone has the same childhood I had and watched the same movies I did. But like even when I was a kid in elementary, I was going to the elementary library and checking out like military books, and like just like geeking over all the like stats of the planes and stuff and tanks.
I mean, I don't blame you.
But you know, I don't think anyone else in my class did this, but I don't know.
There's always one.
Of course, my counter for the whole hiding behind the hill thing is I actually learned how to aim above the hill and kind of arc my shots so that they would fire more up in the air before I fired them. So that they would hide downwards, but the missile would still come down and hit them. Though it did require more skill on my part. Though, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's not a particularly compelling gameplay to sit on an anti-aircraft SAM site for the entire, 30 minutes or so.
Waiting for the guy to pick his nose over.
Well, since it was a small map, it was really commonplace just to keep those, just did not leave because people were kind of deploying in like one of those old funny fast forwarded movies where they just kept doing the same thing over and over again and failing. Because, it didn't work the first time and they just keep trying the same tactic without adjusting.
People do that a lot. In any game.
Well, it's not their fault they lost. It's the person that they're fighting against. That person is the person who's made their tactic not work. So obviously, they just have to wait for that person to get bored and they'll win.
Yeah.
I caution going any further in this direction.
Noted.
I've kind of gone around the oceans the best I can.
Let me check something.
Okay. Oh, by the way, how is your balls, iGamer?
Haven't tried any yet.
I do recommend them chilled or over
They
ice.
are in the refrigerator.
You have a lot of flavors to pick from.
I know.
How many flavors did you get him?
I got him the variety pack. It has regular, it has the root beer, the orange one, the cherry soda one, and I don't know what the other one is. If it is the cherry one. So I think there's 5 flavors, but I could be mistaken.
This is going to be a very large maze. We have over, I think we have around 60 blocks in this direction to go, and also down.
Yeah. And you could also build it so that you can, like, just to mess with DCL, have it so that particular paths reconfigure themselves using redstone.
Oh, well. Oh, wait. So, like, you go a direction, and then, like, a few moments later, the entrance will be blocked? Is this what you mean?
I mean, like, suddenly you'll be like going you'll be going forward, and suddenly the 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 way forward suddenly like empties because of a timer that's gone off that now reconfigures the maze, and you have to like now double back. I don't know, that may be too much trouble, but it would be a funny thing to
know how
mess
to
with.
make a triple piston extender from the floor up that can be used as a door?
You know what Minecraft really needs though?
What does Minecraft really
A Wi-Fi transmitter for redstone signals.
need? You know, that's
Oh,
in the
yeah,
create
it's
mod.
I will charge up my iCube.
You know what Minecraft really needs?
Hmm.
RFID readers
Oh, yeah. See,
and solar panels.
well, solar panels it already has.
It does?
Daylight detectors.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, but those are just detectors. That's not a power source.
Actually, it is.
It
Oh, yeah?
generates, it sends out a
It can.
redstone signal.
It somehow manages to draw power from the sun and moon at like the same efficiency as a lever or redstone torch.
That's in fact that's how some people set up night street lamps in this game. Is that essentially it'll detect that that there's moonlight, and it'll turn on all the lights connected to it.
Yeah.
So essentially a solar panel that can both be solar powered and moon powered.
So how does it end up? So in the day, does it?
Yeah.
Is it still on?
No.
It has basically a
So there's
switch.
you can tell it to give power when the moon is out, or you can tell it to give power when the sun is out.
Interesting. So it's a moonlight detector instead of a daylight detector.
It's a daylight
It can
detector
be
that can
either.
also, you basically switch it between daylight detection and night detection. It's funny though that he mentioned an RFI tag, because that was something that you could do in Little Big Planet. Is you put a RFI tag on an item, and you could actually make a sensor that detects that specific RFI tag. And that's actually how one of my semi-broken levels worked. Was you had to bring this thing over. Do you remember the flare gun that would drop the elevator? The
Not really.
the flare would have an RFI tag, and the sensor would pick up the flare and drop the elevator for you.
Huh.
It was actually one of the interesting features of Little Big Planet. Was it had a lot of like fun little things like that. I loved one of the normal ways that people used the RFI tag thing was to, like, say, put it on a key. And so, like, you'd bring it over to some dissolved material, it would detect the key, and it would destroy itself. But it wouldn't actually be detecting the key, it would just be detecting the RFI tag that was on the key. The key didn't matter. You could legitimately, like, give the character a weapon that actually could fire those RFI tags, basically. And then have detectors that would then do things based off of that. this was a great way that you could use to maybe simulate explosives or something being set off like gasoline by having the players like pistol or paint gun shoot off little RFID text. And it wouldn't actually need to hit anything, just needed to be near it. Of course, I feel like maybe I went a little deeper into Little Big Planets level making than you probably got a chance to. You remember my submarine?
Vaguely. It's been quite a while since we did that.
Yeah. My submarine was kind of a bunch of mechanics that were not designed to use that way. They were more of I combined them together and observed their actions and then tweaked it until it did the thing I wanted it to do.
Didn't you also make a hovercraft that went really fast?
Yes.
That's how I remember it.
Yes. That was one of the first things I did in the game, in the first game. And so essentially on the sponge material, I had a detector that would detect you grabbing the material, and that would activate it.
Huh.
And it would activate the engines based on which sponge material you grabbed. So if you grab the opposite direction, the reverse thrusters would activate, and if you grab the other one, the only problem is I also put you on a material that made the craft have no friction.
Is that why it went so fast?
Meow meow.
Meow meow, Nick.
Meow meow.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
We talked about microtransactions, the evil of gambling, messing with Jackie. You know, the list went on.
So nothing unusual.
Yeah.
Just all the normal stuff we talk about on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we even talked about the Unity thing.
What Unity thing?
What that one executive said, that any person who doesn't, any developer that doesn't monetize their game is a fool.
Yeah, and any person that doesn't overload their game with microtransactions.
I mean, every game should have $50 cosmetic items.
You know, cosmetic items don't really bother me so much because it doesn't
but
really.
the pricing is still a bit dumb.
If I really want that outfit, then so be it. But I'm so picky when it comes to outfits. Like, you could put 1 million items on the thing, and I probably would never buy any of the things. I'm bad. I'm really bad. Like an outfit really has to call to me, on some spiritual level.
Chris, did you see the terrible photos I sent you earlier?
DK, I'm that way too with outfits in games. I get it.
Yeah. That is a interesting thing you've done there, Nick. I'm pretty sure a nation is supposed to have people in them. You exporting all their people out of their country is slightly alarming.
What?
Yeah, he was fighting a war, and he managed to make the other country run out of people.
Huh.
They stopped having people to fight the war.
Well, I guess that means you won.
Eventually.
What does that mean?
Well, they
That's
stopped having new people to fight the war, but I still had to get rid of all the old people fighting the war.
That's not how you want to win a war, generally. Because then there's no one left in the country afterwards, so you basically acquired dirt. Usually you want the people with the dirt.
I mean, you got some old ruin.
I don't know, there are less resistance forces when there's no one there.
That is also a fair point.
You can't have a rebellion if there's no people.
Oh gosh.
Well, there's no arguing that.
Well, see, instead of resistance, you literally have to like repopulate everything with your own people, which might even take longer.
Ah, excellent.
Something to keep people busy.
Chris, I have successfully defended myself from the aggression of another country by annexing all of their territory.
Oh yes, it's totally how that normally works.
They attacked me.
Listening to the beginning of this conversation, I don't think that's how it did start.
No, I'm serious. I was just sitting there minding my
I
own
do
business.
not believe you.
No. Let me explain what happened, okay? These people
Okay.
came to me, and they looked at me and they said, "Hey, you see that territory that you took, several years ago? We've decided that that's ours, and we want it back." And I went, "No, it's not. You've never controlled this territory. I had to take this from someone else." And they went, "No, it's ours." And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, give it back." And I went, "No." And then they went, "All right, well, if you don't give it back, we'll declare war on you." And so then I sat there and waited for them to do so. And then they did so. And it didn't go well for them.
Kind of sounds like a Russia-Ukraine thing.
Did you happen to also exterminate the resident?
No, I didn't have to do that. They were too weak. They were too weak and pathetic to need to do such tactics.
Okay.
And that wasn't really my goal with the other people. It just sort of happened. I was just sort of holding the border, and then I looked back and realized that they no longer had men to field their armies.
When someone goes to war and they're not actually ready for it, they were kind of hoping that it would be a quick special military operation that would last 48 hours. And then the song Glorious Leader would play. But that would never happen in real life.
Hey, Chris.
Huh.
I'm going to send you a picture, and I want you to guess who's leading Vault City.
Alright. Would it be First Citizen Lynette?
Yes.
That's hilarious. So, First Citizen Lynette doesn't believe in conquering anyone. Instead, she wants to, she goes to war with people for the sole purpose of adding them to her alliance.
And removing their awful raider-based governments.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to conquer you, make you lead yourself, give you back your country, and I'm going to give you free electricity, free running water, and help rebuild your entire education system.
The only requirement is that you are now my puppet, and that you really need to stop raiding people. Those are the only requirements.
So I looked at the countries around Vault City and seeing that they were all massive and big. For normal countries that would just be taken over and conquered, this tells me that obviously First Citizen Lynette has come in and fixed them. Where Vault City is a tiny country, like the size of an acorn and surrounded by giants.
The thing is one of those people is me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And Lynette has basically done nothing the entire game. She has not done anything yet this game.
Oh, that's bad. She messed up.
She went to the raccoon people and convinced the raccoon people to join her alliance, but that was it.
Yeah. because everyone else requires her to actually physically conquer them and then release them back. Like, I've now taken over your country and I'm going to return the keys back, and you work for y'all kind of work for us, you know. But I'm going to provide you electricity, water, and all that good stuff.
It's more like that she goes into their country, takes it over, and then finds people who agree with her in that country and sets up a council to fix the country.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
It's an inside operation.
Well, it also requires you to first completely conquer that country.
Well.
So that's kind of usually the opposite of an inside operation, because you've had to go to the trouble of actually conquering those people for the sole purpose of making everything better for their people.
At least the way you feel like it should be better.
Well, like, you know, they don't have running water or electricity. And
Maybe
so,
they like it that way, though.
So they have
maybe.
no choice but to surrender because they lack the resources, I guess.
Well, it's more of a very hard-fought fight, but she has, like the idea she wants to build an alliance of countries and kind of fix them, if you will. And then turn them into a strong alliance that'll watch everybody's back. She basically wants to make a NATO, and then she has a choice of, like, joining one of the major powers or just staying with NATO.
I feel like that's one of those the best intentioned situations. Doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
More like she's creating a European Union and then deciding whether she wants to join NATO or not.
Well, like, the thing is, like, she could take her European Union and then, like, just, like, add it to NATO. Which is an odd thing. By the way, Rampage, why are you sitting in darkness?
Huh?
You're sitting in darkness again.
Oh. I don't see darkness.
You know, when you're building this, you should probably, like, you know...
I'm just looking over at his screen, seeing this terrifying maze.
It's not that bad yet.
Oh, Texan, have you... Were you the one I showed you the water system?
You mean like the boat race thing?
So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to make sure that like I didn't show someone else that, and you're confused on what we're doing.
You definitely did show me. I remember y'all talking about a maze as well.
We're doing this to make Rampage happy because he said he wanted a maze.
I see. Why does he want a maze?
Chris, I have some concerns.
What's wrong, Nick? I mean, we're not calling the maze of no return. I mean,
No. I have some concerns. I just tag switched to Lynette to see what she was doing. And so let me start by prefacing that she has 2 special forces divisions. And then let me send you the template for those special forces divisions. And then let me follow that up by saying that she's now training a power armor division.
What?
And let me show you what that looks like.
What the heck?
What?
So, to put things into context, so a normal army in this game is generally, like, say, like, 4 squads, right? She's making special forces divisions that are 15 squads. And she's training a bunch of them.
What year is this?
And understand that special forces are capped. You can only have so many of them. So it's generally better to make small squads of them to hit very specific spots.
And then she has another one with, like, 13, like, heavy special forces in, like, super heavy armor. What? Why?
Why
So-
are those needed?
So Chris,
They're not.
Lynette, it's 2281, Chris, and Lynette has 13 divisions.
Just 13 squads, and 3 of them are all special forces. I mean, I guess she's rich. She is like a trading empire, but still, oof. Like, I don't know why she has like
Well, yeah, but
an
special
entire
forces.
army of special forces. It just doesn't... What is she gonna do with that? Why?
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
He's going to provide electricity for all of those nations that
Chris.
are less fortunate.
I guess so.
She went deep into the special forces tree.
So like
You want to?
a really heavy unit has like a combat width of 20 in this game, and her special forces is combat worth 30. So
Oh.
like a full, like, your goal is like to make divisions that are combat width 10 or 20, and she's just going super like massive, like an entire thing is just full of special forces. Like, she's just making an army.
Power armor is 32 way.
That doesn't even make sense.
Now, what game was this?
Hearts of Iron.
Yeah, this is a mod for Hearts of Iron that turns the game into Fallout.
This is actually why we bought Rampage a copy of Hearts of Iron. Is one day we were going to trick him into playing this grand strategy game.
So,
I'm going
Chris,
to have to-
I do see
like
another
Texans
problem.
What's up?
I see another problem for Lynette, and I want you to tell me if you can spot it.
Okay. More horrible things.
Can you spot the problem, Chris?
Oh. Why?
So, she's trying to train power armor, but doesn't have anything making power armor.
Wait. That doesn't.
The
Wait.
only thing she's producing is basic special forces armor, and when I mean basic, I mean start of the game basic.
Yeah.
And like making some laser guns and some like wheelbarrows. That's all she's building. That's gonna be an interesting army.
So, here's the thing. She did have enough power armor in storage to train this division.
Yeah, but then that's it. So she like, the reason it's that size is based on how much power armor she had left over from like the beginning of the game. Like, some people who used to use power armor like come to her and say, you know what, someone blew up our base and we need a place to stay. And like, First Citizen Lynette gets her little like mom gloves on and gives them all hugs and takes care of their boo-boos and brings them in. And that's the only reason she has power armor. And she's decided to like just fully utilize it. So if they lose one piece, she can't replace those units because she's not building them. And that's kind of a problem because people get hurt and wounded, and then you lose those equipment. So to put that in for some of the kids, imagine making a precious diamond pickaxe and then choosing to not get a not building a forge to repair that diamond, and just slowly letting it break, and when you see it's about to break, you go and break it. And now you have no more diamond pickaxes.
It might be more accurate to go something along the lines of imagine if you made diamond pickaxes for 5 people in your village and you gave each one of them one, and then you sent all of them into the deepest mines but told them they weren't allowed to have armor or food.
Okay, that's probably.
And so there was a very high chance that they were going to lose those. And you took no precautions to stop it.
Yeah, because this particular mod takes place in a post-apocalyptic world of Fallout. The premise of Fallout is China and America go to a nuclear war with each other. But the technology is a little bit different because they're both more advanced than we are modern day, and also
less advanced.
Less advanced. Like, they didn't make the circuit. Like, vacuum tubes are still being used. So imagine if our smarts with nuclear, like, were higher, and our ability of making circuitry was less advanced. And we really, really liked the 1950s. We culturally never left, like you remember how the cars used to look, like the classic cars?
Maybe.
So
Just old cars.
Yeah, old cars, like, but the thing is, like, the way we used to, like, visualize the future would be like. What if that future is like kept in like the spirit of the designs? Imagine owning a nuclear powered car. Like, we were that advanced with radio technology, and if someone radioactive nuclear tech, and so advanced that if someone, like, took some nuclear radiation, we literally had, like, a shot we could give someone that would just take care of them and they'd be fine. Like, we were that advanced with medical technologies. But darn, that integrated circuit board, that one's tough. The computer chip, not so much about that. Vacuum tubes, that's what we need. More vacuum tubes.
In fact, they were so advanced because they figured out how to make small, tiny, like small, tiny nuclear reactors that you literally use to fire your gun. You plasma guns.
Yeah, that's well beyond our current technology. We don't have handheld laser weapons yet. The closest we got in real life is the Dazzler, which shoots a laser that blinds you. Have any of y'all seen what a Dazzler looks like?
Not what it looks like.
Not sure if I want to.
Yeah, just look over here. Stare into the Dazzler.
I forgot how I got up here.
How? How, game? How did you do this? I need to understand. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I unified Texas under Texas. Okay. And because Lone Star didn't exist, they had to go down the "we have been betrayed" path. And so they recreated Lone Star in the middle of their territory. But they still haven't created Texas. Do you want to know why? Because the Alamo chapter never broke off.
That's hilarious.
So they can't go down the broken apart path. So they actually have to wait for Lone Star to form Texas. Just the silliest thing.
Hmm.
I'll say I was really glad when Caesar left. Chris knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I've decided that I need to liberate Fault City. It seems to be having leadership problems.
Well, that's no good. You need to go fix that.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. My diplomats are currently explaining to them why they are no longer going to be allowed to rule themselves.
You tried and you failed. Now it's our turn.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. They keep insisting that, you know, they have like this right to self-determination, and you know, I just keep trying to explain to them why they're wrong.
So, Rampage, you're gonna get it kicked out of it. The Army's version of the laser weapon that blinds people is called the Personal Halting and Stimulation Response. And I'll give you a second to figure out the acronym for that.
I don't know.
Personal Halting and Stimulation Response.
Phase.
Phaser, correct.
He's gonna say it's phaser.
Oh.
Nobody at the Chris, nobody at the Army did that on purpose, just to make it a pun out of it. They would never do that.
No, they would never. If I show you a picture of it, you're probably not gonna think it's real. Oh, it does not look real. Hmm.
All right, folks, I gotta go.
Bye, Mr. B.
Goodbye, Mr. B.
Bye, Mr. B.
See you later.
Have fun with Wildermyth.
Alright,
I'm on a roof.
so Rampage, I'm gonna fire me phaser.
Wait, really? Really?
Yes, really.
And here's the Wikipedia article about the weapon.
Rampage just wasn't prepared for this.
He was not ready to look at something so unrealistic looking.
I mean, it does really look like it just came out of a movie.
This, though, is probably slightly more scary. Okay, Enderman, that's not my fault.
Alright, I'm gonna go make dinner.
Sounds good. Bye. And he's gone.
Make sure. So, what I sent Rampage a picture of is the microwave gun.
Microwave gun?
Yeah.
Was it made out of microwaves?
No, you put it's a heat ray, if you will.
Huh.
You don't see it though, and it just points in your direction, and you no longer want to be in that direction. This weapon has been banned.
I wonder why.
Not because it would make people not want to stand in a particular direction, is that if someone went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, that was the setting in which they could actually turn the non-lethal weapon into a more demonetization weapon.
Huh.
And for that reason alone, it was banned.
So it was fine before?
Yeah. You would point it at people, and it would make them no longer want to be where they are.
Huh.
Because it wouldn't cause any physical harm to someone. It would just make them feel like their skin was on fire. And so they would want to be away from that. And as soon as they got out of it, they stopped feeling like their skin was on fire. See? And so the idea was that this is a way to, like, if someone was running at you, you could point it at them, and they no longer want to be running at you and would like to be running away from you.
Yeah?
But it was something that you'd mount on a vehicle, as seen in the picture. Also, I guess I should probably
maybe
go ahead.
crowd control?
Yeah, that's where it was envisioned. And so here you go, iGamer. Here's the article about the phaser.
Sounds good. I'll take a look at it in a minute.
And here is a picture of the microwave gun, which I realize all these things are new to y'all. I remember when they were in the news and we were all like sitting around talking about the implications of such things.
Are we talking about that thing in the car?
We were talking about the one that we have like mounted on a ship. And we also talked about, sadly, how the railgun has been discontinued.
I mean, we talked about something that made people blind that got banned.
I think I may have remotely talked about the phaser to y'all a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, gamer, these are the kind of like juicy conversations you get when you put DK in a car with small children.
Gotcha.
I'm on top of the town hall.
See, because like these are technology, right? And they're worth discussing.
Yeah.
And technology is always cool, especially when it goes pew pew.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny though. Um, you know, a lot of people think to themselves that a laser weapon is just a weapon they could see and then they could do something about it. But like,
Yeah, no, laser weapons can not be visible if it's like an IR laser.
it's
And
like
it
a
can still make you go blind.
yeah. I think
It can make you
people
go blind very quickly as well.
yeah, making a weapon, making a laser visible requires a particular arrangement of things.
It's like it's the choice. Like, do I want people to be able to see? Do I not want people to be able to see?
And um, Rampage. When you have a laser that needs to be really big,
Huh.
another angle for you. I remember someone making the joke that, oh, I'll just like point a mirror at it.
That could be effective though.
At reflecting the light, maybe, not the heat. Mirrors don't reflect heat back.
If you believe, if you believe in the heart of the cards,
What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh?
Have you ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Rampage?
no,
No?
no.
Rampage probably is, however, surprised that iGamer understood his reference.
I mean, I knew what it was from. That doesn't mean I watched it.
I didn't
think-
either, I just knew what it was from.
I've actually watched the original, and I've also watched a few of the Japanese ones. Do not watch the Japanese ones.
Why? Is there
You will
something
find the
horribly wrong?
story doesn't match up with the two series.
Huh.
I don't know which one I want.
See, the American one is funny because of its ridiculousness. And then you discover like the Japanese one is like super emo.
Bruh.
Like
Isn't the whole like thing about basically breaking the rules of the game?
yes. Yes, not following the rules specifically.
Wow.
But here's the concept from the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Are you ready for yourself? Prepare yourself. So the
Okay.
evil bad guy sends a VHS tape. Yu-Gi-Oh
Okay.
and his family watch the VHS tape. The VHS tape reaches out and steals his grandfather's soul and brings it into the VCR tape.
That is quite impressive. That would be very hard to do.
While the series like just the idea of like, how would that even work? It's a read-only material. How are you writing the soul to the VHS tape? How?
You didn't even think about that.
Also, like a VHS tape. You pretty sure that like no one can reach out with a VHS. Like, I'm gonna kidnap your grandfather by sending you a VHS tape. That's beyond ridiculous.
What does he gain from kidnapping the grand?
He wants you to go to fight him in a duel.
Just challenge him to a duel then.
He
That's
wants.
simple.
Well, he wants. He doesn't think Yu-Gi-Oh would do it. Like, because the thing is, to explain, Yu-Gi-Oh had this particular relic that had the spirit of an Egyptian pharaoh in it.
I mean,
And
thing that he
the
worked on-
pharaoh was actually good at Yu-Gi-Oh, the game. The kid was not. So the idea is that the kid had to trust the pharaoh to play the children's card game, because only the pharaoh actually knew the rules of the game.
Huh.
This
Yes.
show just sounds stupid the more you keep talking.
I want you to think about this for a second. Why would an Egyptian pharaoh know anything about a children's card game? Those are good questions.
I'm pretty sure the lore states that it's.
I imagine the lore states a lot of things. But generally, the TV show tried to find ways to take a mundane thing like a children's card game and up the stakes. Because you see now, to rescue my grandfather and save his soul from the shadow dimension, I have to, I have to win a children's card game.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a bomb on the boat. The only way to stop it is with a children's card game. Yeah.
Win.
Well, I believe the pharaoh, if he won the game, I think he banished someone to the shadow dimension.
Oh.
Because obviously the rules of the card game allows you to banish people to the shadow dimension. Obviously, we all know that children's card game are incredibly binding.
He's able to just banish people to the shadow realm. Why not just?
Only if he beats them in a card game.
But why does he just have to beat them? Just send them there.
Think of it like a JoJo stand condition. Right? Like you had the one guy who had to beat rock, paper, scissors and then he could take part of the stand. It's like that. Except it's banishing someone to the shadow realm and it's a children's card game.
So you mean that one stand towards the end of part 3? I don't think anyone knows what we're talking about.
I understand it's a JoJo reference, but I've actually never watched JoJo.
We need to fix that.
Like someone tried to make me play a JoJo game before, and
Which one?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Eyes of Heaven, or was it a 2D fighting game?
It was a 2.5D side scroller. It was like.
And it wasn't a fighting game?
Oh, it could have been. I don't know.
Huh.
It's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something. I don't remember.
Cause like there are like 1 or 2 that are only like findable in Japan, and then there's All-Star Battles, and then there's Eyes of Heaven. Eyes of Heaven is more story based, and it's a 3D fighting game.
I don't
And
remember the
All-Star-
game making any particular sense to me. So
I mean,
not
Jordan
really
barely makes
supposed to.
sense.
I don't believe it had a story. If it did,
Yeah, so it was probably All-Star Battle.
I don't know. I was a lot younger back then. But I realized some of the concepts because I watched a lot of other anime series. You know, the one with P-chan and the character that gets lost for like 4 months trying to get to his backyard, ends up in another country.
Very relatable.
That one, like, I think that one's way too relatable to me.
Sad.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Are y'all ready for story time?
Yeah.
All right. So we just moved into the house we live in right now, at the time, and I decided I would go walking. I decided to take randomized turns whenever I got to a way of turning. And I started my adventure during the day. And slowly the sun had come down. And now, before I started the adventure, I lived next to a high school. And I saw the high school had all of its big spotlights up in the air. You know, for the game that was going to be happening later in the evening. So I was keeping that as my reference point. Like if things went really horrible, I would look in the sky for the light and follow that home, right?
Yeah.
That was my backup plan. So I continue going, and finally I find some houses that I've never seen before. Some paths I've never crossed before, and they were unusually designed. Like the paths were unusual, like large amounts of grass and like no houses, and down this particular one. Anyway, finally I look to my reference point and say, okay, I'm going to walk in the direction of my reference point and then go home. Because it's getting a little late. I could always, because I no longer know where I am, because I've now entered a place I've never been before. I could go back the way I came and maybe sort that out. But no, there's my reference point, so I'll just walk towards my reference point. I keep walking towards my reference point. And I find myself now in further areas I've never been to before. And now I'm getting closer to the spotlight finally. It seems to have been like a couple hours at this point now. Like, I don't remember walking this far away from my house. And then I smell something familiar. It was the smell of hamburgers. There's no hamburgers near that high school, I thought to myself. I finally approach the top of the hill and see a Whataburger. There's no Whataburgers near those spotlights. And then I look in semi-horror. So I see the spotlights were for a brand new store that opened up. I now knew where I was, and I was very unhappy. I was now about I was incredibly far away from home, but now I've met a major road. A road I've never bothered to walk home from. I was at the old Albertsons. Which I hadn't been to for years, but only by car. And apparently Walmart was going to turn it into one of their littler grocery stores. That was like a Walmart grocery store.
Huh.
So now I realize I have like another hour to walk home. But now I know very clear where I am. And I'm a little annoyed with myself because essentially I've now walked further away from home to get to this location. Something should have told me that that was the wrong way, because that was very much the wrong direction of home. But I followed my instinct of the lights. So remember, sometimes those things we use to mark ourselves of where we are, sometimes they're lying to us.
Or you just have to remember to follow the right one.
Well, you know, like you're walking and your view of the item, the thing is, those lights have been turned off. The game had completed and they turned the lights off. So when I looked at the sky, when I had access to the sky again, the lights that I expected were from the stadium were actually from that grocery store. And I just tagged it up as me being slightly that maybe I just misremembered where they were. See, doubt leads to the dark side.
leads to the dark side.
of being lost.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's my story of getting. Oh, I have another.
Oh.
So, I used to live off of 360, which is a major freeway here in Arlington. An apartment complex called Misty Hollow. Right? So, following the service road in the opposite direction of traffic, one would get to a Jack-in-the-Box. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I decided as a 12-year-old, I would tell my parents I would walk to the Jack-in-the-Box and bring everyone food.
Yeah.
For whatever reason in my mind, while that straightway is technically how one would get there, that is how someone would get there driving on the opposite side of the road, the wrong way, down the one way. And for some reason, I decided to follow the way you would go there if you were going to drive.
Yeah.
Instead of the straightaway, because obviously that would be going against the opposite side of traffic, but I'm walking, so it really doesn't matter. I end up duplicating this long, hours long trek that would normally take about like 20 minutes to drive. My parents came looking for me out of concern.
I mean, it's very fair.
All I had to do was walk like 30 minutes down a road, and 30, like maybe not even 30, maybe like 40 minutes to and fro, right? This was not a very long trek necessarily, but I took on this going down a giant hill. I basically I walked to my elementary school and was following the course that we would take to get to that Jack-in-the-Box. Following the correct laws of a car. Because obviously DK is a car, you know, vroom vroom. I was a little annoyed with myself. I don't know why in my head that I had to replicate the entire car maneuver. Hi, Rampage. But yeah. I eventually did get to that Walmart. I finally did get to that Jack-in-the-Box, but my parents had certainly beaten me at that point. I actually met another adult during my travels, and the thing is, I began to like self-question myself, so I asked an adult to reconfirm the location. And the adult did not know where that Jack-in-the-Box was that was pretty close to us.
Huh.
And so, I understand, Rampage, this was an era in which smartphones did not exist.
Oh.
And in the earlier thing, when like you actually got a phone, like a cell phone, you had to pay like a monthly fee to use GPS.
Really?
Yeah. You had to pay for that right. Now you're probably wondering why you had to pay for that right. So here's the thing: the company that you paid this to did not take your information and sell it to the highest bidder.
Whoa.
So the idea is, instead of you paying with your soul, you were simply paying with money.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a weird concept. I'll be honest, my first cell phone was actually a Motorola. It was black and white. It had one game on it.
One
Oh.
whole game? What
Yep.
game?
Brick.
Brick?
Hmm.
Which one was that?
It's the one where you have a paddle and a ball, and you're trying to break all the bricks.
Ah.
It has various names over the years, but that's the only game. And do you know how much it you know how you added games back then? You went to the
No.
AT&T store and you paid for another game. There were no free games.
I mean, most free games are pretty bad, so
Yeah, but you didn't even have that.
having to like walk to a store to get a game is crazy.
Oh, no. There was like an app on
Oh, okay.
one of the later phones that was the AT&T store, so you'd pay like, $10 to get a game. A cell phone game. Now, you might say, oof, $10 for a cell phone game? But remember also that cell phone game didn't actually sell your data.
Yes. That's just such a weird thing to like consider.
like the game didn't call home. You would just buy the game and you could play it regardless if you had internet access once you downloaded it.
Like, that is just so. Like, I just hate the fact that they want my data as granted. It's like, alright, yeah, sure, whatever.
See, so, see, it's one of those things where we went from we don't want to pay for things, we want things free. So companies found other ways to get paid.
Yeah.
Remember, you're the product.
You're what everyone wants to buy.
I remember a news story that actually showed that like generally a person's personal information is worth like 17 cents.
That's funny.
You're kidding me. Then, well, it does go to highest bidder, I guess, usually.
Well, no, like there's people who would collect personal information and they'd sell it like 17 cents a person.
Mm.
But see, now we have like apps that can go not just our personal information, but they can also state like, oh, Rampage likes the color red. When shown a red button, he's 30% more likely to press the red button, even if the outcome is unlikely. And then like advertisers like, hold the phone, and like they'll be writing that down.
I mean, it's kind of funny. Apple really likes to track everything.
Oh yeah.
I use an app whenever I like go to bed, and Apple is like based off of location in your home. We recommend this app that you should open. It's like, not only do you know where my home is, you also know exactly where in my house I put my device.
Are you gonna have another path down there?
I'm going to make a second floor because first of all it's funny, and second it does actually need to get lower to Y27.
I'm assuming this maze is not going to feature the boat, huh?
No, it's all going to be accessible on a boat.
Nice.
That's why it's too wide. You're going to get in the you're gonna go through the whole thing in the boat.
Are you gonna be able to leave this place via boat?
You should be able to.
Nice. Glad that you thought this out.
That's why I'm doing the troop bars like this.
But what if you're not able to leave fight?
Well, then good luck.
We're gonna have a machine that collects the boats, and then we charge the person a fee for not bringing their boat back.
Like it destroys the boat forcibly, collects it before the player can, and then we're like, yo, where's the boat? What do you mean you lost the boat? We need the boat.
There's no mechanism that collects the boat. Then we're gonna add like an automatic so we're gonna like charge them for not bringing the boat back. Then we're gonna charge them a boat processing fee. Then a automatic boat retrieval fee. Suggesting we are aware of the automatic boat retriever.
You're sounding like scammers at their finest.
Well, no, true scammers call grandmas and try to get them to buy Steam cards for them.
Yeah.
Those are the
It's a Steam gift card to, get your purchase back to you.
my favorite part. The IRS wants you to pay your back taxes and Steam cards.
Yeah, Steam gift cards. Woo!
By the way, anyone out there, if anyone's saying they're from the IRS and they want to be paid in Steam cards, please say no. And hang up the phone.
Not the IRS. They do not want to be paid in Steam gift cards.
Steam is not a valid exchange currency. Actually, I had. It's funny is I actually called for work. I was trying to call a client back, and an old grandma picked up the phone, and I let them know I was from what IT company I worked for, and they're like, this is a scam. There's no one of that name, and I'm like, it's not this scam. This is obviously the wrong phone number. This is the number the client gave me. Like, you have no idea how many times clients have given me wrong phone numbers.
It's something that happens often?
Yeah, I've had like one number that was given to me. I called and the person immediately hung up the phone.
Huh.
And then I discovered I reversed it. I looked at like a thing that they had sent us, and it was sent from a different phone number than what they left. Apparently, they were told the wrong phone number, and they'd been telling people the wrong phone number for the entire time.
Huh.
Because they were unaware of what their actual phone number was.
That's funny. Also, DK, do you know why I put this little hole here?
No.
Or this pathway?
Is it part of an evil plan?
So I realized that you could very easily get to the end by just going to the right, like just hugging the right wall. So now, if you hug the right wall, you go to the other side of the maze, and you have to, and you won't know it. So you have to make your way all the way to the other side.
We need to get iGamer to allow us to enable PvP in the maze.
I can do that for you.
Just so that we can, like, pelt the players with snowballs.
You can like pay like $20 to throw snowballs at people.
That's terrible. I love it. I love it so much. Why do I love it? What does this say about me?
I am gonna get up.
I will also be doing this. So,
Are you succumbing to the weakness of food?
yeah. Yeah, food is in existence, and food.
Gotcha.
Well, Texan, have you been enjoying your stay in DFW?
Yes.
Have you enjoyed the Arlington roads?
Not so much.
Do you
What
love the
about-
local freeway system?
Improvements are needed.
What improvements would you like to see?
All of them.
All of them? That's not
The
very
list is
descriptive.
too long to name down.
It
What
sounds
is
like
priority
another
number one?
satisfied customer. So yeah, what would be your first priority to see fixed?
Well, first priority would be more traffic laws.
What traffic laws do you feel we are in need of?
At least. Well, I'm just gonna sue the city instead.
Oh, okay. So instead of coming up with the ideas to fix the problem, you're going to sue the city for not
I
coming
don't
up
I
with
don't know
ideas.
what traffic laws we are missing that you think we need.
Yeah, neither do I. I was
I thi-
very
I-
curious to hear his answer.
Because I'm pretty sure we still live in the same state, so most of the traffic laws are probably the same.
Yeah, they would be.
Most of them, yes.
What ones aren't?
You tell me.
What?
I don't know. I'm not a law student.
Most of the time, traffic laws are standardized by state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I as I said, this is why I was questioning Texan on this because
Oh wait, then here I have a thing.
alright,
They need to enforce the laws better.
which laws should be specifically further enforced?
The traffic laws.
Which specific
one?
traffic law do you feel is not being enforced properly?
Which one
Um,
has
just
lack
en-
of people?
Enforce all of them even more.
Okay, they don't exactly have the ability. It would be setting a priority of this law comes before this one. So which
what
is at the
particular
top?
law is the most concerning? Which okay, if you can't think of a specific one, how about a group of traffic laws?
Is it speeding? Is it reckless driving? Is it
Speeding, reckless driving. Those are definitely two major ones.
Flying without a proper,
So is your problem that-
People driving with a license that is like a starter license or whatever. So there's
I feel
they
like
have
you're
to
just
have
making
a-
assumptions on people's skill level.
So Texan,
Like,
if your
how would you
problem is
know?
speeding,
when you first start driving and you have the basic license,
Uh-huh.
you have to have an adult in the vehicle with you and no other passenger, usually.
A long time ago, yeah. Pretty sure
Pretty
those
sure
laws
it's
were
still that
eased
way.
up a lot.
I
I
think
don't
they
know.
got
We
more
still have
strict.
those in New Jersey, at least.
I don't
I
think
mean-
there's a limit on the amount of passengers you can have, but there is.
But really,
a
does that
parent
affect anything, though?
It doesn't.
That
Like,
needs
so
to be-
Texan, if you said speeding is one of the options. Is people going 5 miles above the speed limit needing, like, is that bad? Is that the
Is that
So-
where we just,
so
like,
we're-
publicly
we
execute
overall-
people?
Yes.
So if someone goes like 5 miles over the speed limit for like 2 seconds, you want them publicly executed.
Yes.
Okay, so apparently what we learned is Texan is maybe a little, extreme.
You need to go back in time and go to France. All right, that's where you belong.
I'll be
Back
honest
in
with you,
time.
Texan, generally the people from out of state, they usually complain on why our speed limits are so slow.
What's your standard highway speed limit? Just curious.
For the longest time, it used to be 50.
But
What
it's
is it now?
71, right?
I think it's like it matters what part of the freeway system you're on. I think some of them now go to 70, which was very
pretty sure most of
controversial.
them are
Usually on the roads that I travel on, it's usually 65.
I was gonna say, most of the roads around here are 65. I've never seen 70 in New Jersey.
I've seen 70. I've never seen a 75. And I
Yeah.
Me neither, but I know they exist.
Yeah, I remember like when the freeways would have like 55 on them. But you know what? That didn't really matter because you know what the true speed limit of the freeway system was?
Whatever the traffic was.
It was obviously 5 miles an hour.
Yes.
As someone who was driven to Love Field, usually what would happen is we'd enter a part of the freeway system in which the speed limit became 5 miles or less per hour
Wow.
for
Really
like,
incredible.
30 minutes. It was cripply horrible. I felt sorry for these people. I'm glad I don't have to ever go to Dallas again. It was horrible. I hope to never have to go to Dallas again. Like, Dallas makes me, like, extra
Where was
depressed.
the other place? Was it Arizona? That
Oh,
we had, like,
Arizona, the only reason to go there is to go
Yeah.
to Biodome 2. Then you
So
should
you don't-
proceed to leave
So
the
you
state.
never want to have to go to Dallas again, and you never want to have to go to Arizona except for like eco bubble thing.
The Biodome. The Biodome was
Yeah.
great because you went there and they had like all these different like ecological recreations, right? Like the tropical rainforest. And you could walk through this tropical rainforest and it was huge and it was super tall and it was beautiful. Like just like the level of recreation. Do you know what they said the hardest biome for them to recreate was?
The desert?
Yeah. Now you may joke about that, but there are many desert biomes, and one of the desert biomes is the East Coast desert biome that has water.
Oh. Oh yeah, that would be very hard for them.
Cause like it's a desert that has water. Of course, I feel like those people at Biodome are super incredibly smart. They had a beautiful like solar farm built out, and you discovered that they had these other parts of their solar farm, and they're like those are completely worthless. And I'm like, why are they worthless? Because that one over there generates more than the entire farm, that other entire farm altogether, and it's like, ugh. When you realize that like a lot of space is wasted for like really old solar technology. What also is quite beautiful is just like their passion and what they've created. It's pretty awesome. And their hatred of the Biodome movie. But then you go to the rest of the Arizona and it's just empty wasteland of depressed people watering their rocks so that they can feel some semi-balance of normality. I watched people take their sprinkler systems and like take a hose and carefully water their rocks. These giant like rocks that they had.
Like a cactus, I could understand, but why rock?
Well, it's they didn't have a yard.
Didn't have a yard.
They didn't have a yard. It was desert.
Wow.
So so part of their front yard was this garden of rocks, like river rocks and stuff like that. And then they like watered them, so they could feel some semi-balance of normality. But the thing is, you're never going to be normal. You live in Arizona. You will only know the depression of never seeing anything green again. Except like when you go to a Walmart. You're going to go to a Walmart and there'll be like a little bit semi-balance of real life. And then you can see what it's like for other people to be happy and realize that you just have been excluded from this happiness.
You were very passionate about Arizona.
Yeah, I went to Gold Mountain, Arizona. The little house things had like, just to put things into context, there was literally golf cart crossings, not pedestrian crossings, golf cart crossing signs. That golf carts had the right of way.
Huh.
Yeah, and then just pure desert. And then you realize, like, someone took you somewhere out into the desert and you have to go to the bathroom, and you discover that you're kind of trapped in a pure, like flat wilderness of just sand. And
Wow.
you try to find somewhere private, and people start approaching you thinking you're the trail of civilization. And you try to get away from these people, and they keep following you because you're the only trace of civilization, and they don't know where to go. One of my distant family members wanted us to see these ancient cave drawings, which was a like several mile walk in the desert to get to.
Wow.
And so I tried to hide somewhere, and like more people would continuously come towards me, and I realized that I just needed to accept that there was not going to be a safe place to take care of business. Made it to the ancient cave drawings, and I pointed at them, carefully made my way back, and then disappeared out into the desert in hopes of finding a car and heading home.
Finding a car.
We did make a mistake. We let the person who lived in Arizona drive our vehicle. Don't do that. If you enjoy having a motor vehicle, or you rented it and you didn't put enough insurance on it, don't let someone from Arizona drive your vehicle.
Okay then.
Because they're so used to not seeing other people, they have no grasp of speed limits.
Oh. Oh.
And I want you to understand, at that point, I was a child, and I was used to, like, Texas speed limits of, like, 45 being pretty fast, and freeways being 55. And the person who we lent the car to decided that, 90 was the speed limit. It was not.
Funny. Alright, well, I now disappear.
Alright.
I disappear with him.
I'm going to
So,
perform the ice cube dance in hopes that ice cubes suddenly come out of existence.
Okay then.
I wish you luck with your ice cubes, and goodbye.
Bye, Rampage!
See ya.
Alright, stream, you heard what Rampage said. It's time to go, but that's okay. Don't forget, we'll be here next time on Dragon Ball Z. But most importantly, I want you to remember a very, very important thing. Other than don't trust Arizona people to drive your motor vehicle. And that important thing is you're always loved. Take care, guys, and have a wonderful day.